What's up, guys? Right now we're in LA. We're staying at a hotel. It is 1 a.m. But we just saw Motionless in White and Knocked Loose, and we decided to spend the night up here so we can do some stuff tomorrow. We don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna take you along with us. And we also got Taco Bell, so we're about to munch because we're hungry. Day 1 consisted of lots and lots and lots of driving. Although it was only supposed to be around a 2-hour drive, the concert took place on a Friday and we didn't leave San Diego until about 2 in the afternoon. On the way there, we forgot to take toll roads off of maps and ended up having to pay $9.18 for a toll road we used. We ended up getting into Los Angeles at around 5:30 p.m., which was not fun to say the least. Because the concert started at 6:30, we decided to just go early and called our hotel to make sure it was okay to check in late. The concert was great and we even got to high-five Chris Motionless. What wasn't great was the fact we had to pay $40 for parking. This is the first time we ever had to pay for parking at a concert we had tickets for. And on top of that, this parking fee was only $15 less than the actual ticket price. That's crazy. After the show, we headed to our hotel to check in. This hotel was called Hotel Coxie, and the reviews were pretty good, so we decided to stay there. It was in Koreatown and it wasn't too bad. The only fishy things were that the hotel location was not popping up on Apple Maps, so we had to use Google Maps, and the hotel names were different in person than on Google. Once we got there, we checked into our hotel around midnight. It was $155 for the night, but that wasn't the only fee. We had to also pay for parking at the hotel, which was another $15. Seems like LA loves parking fees. Even weirder is the fact that we had to leave our keys at the front desk, even though we didn't use their valet service, after signing a paper that said the hotel was not responsible for any stolen or lost items from the vehicle. Anyways, we also got Taco Bell. Since we hadn't had anything to eat since breakfast, we got a bean burrito, chicken enchilada burrito, 3 crunchy tacos, 3 soft tacos, 2 medium Baja Blast for $22.67. We ate our Taco Bell and fell asleep after a long day.
For day 2, we had more of a plan. There were a few things that we knew we wanted to do, starting with the Grove Mall. Getting there, we parked in the mall's parking garage that overlooked some of Los Angeles, and this was a pretty cool view. Once we exited the parking garage, we were immediately greeted by Drake's brand store. That's OVO, which stands for October's Very Own. And this mall was just really cool. It had the statue in the center of it, a pond, and a lot of really nice stores.
Dude, the Cheesecake Factory looks so cool. And that Grove sign, that reminds me of Disneyland.
Even the non-designer brand stores had designer looks to their exterior. They were just really nice. We were able to get our own map of the mall, and it put into perspective how big this mall was. After looking at that map, we checked out this candy store called Dylan's Candy Bar.
Me and Joey are gonna go into Dylan's Candy Bar. It's mini Las Vegas wall.
Yeah. The candy was a little pricey though, so we did leave empty-handed.
$11 for a root beer float?
No.
I don't know if this is like their favorite candy or what. They have Jeff Dunham, Young Thug.
Leaving the store, we realized just how hungry we were. We checked out the farmer's market section of the mall, which had this really big food court. It had every type of meal and dessert you could think of, but we didn't really see any small breakfast type of food, and that's what we were feeling like having at the time. We did see that Barnes & Noble had a Starbucks in it, so we decided to go there for food instead. Entering Barnes & Noble's had us going on a scavenger hunt for the Starbucks. Look at how big this store is. I've never been in a 3-story Barnes & Noble.
That's crazy, 3 stories? Look at all the books.
We finally found Starbucks and decided on 2 coffees and a croissant breakfast sandwich for each of us.
How much was it?
$24.80, I believe.
That's crazy. For these 2 and 2 sandwiches.
Bruh.
Is that burnt? Joey got 2 drinks from Starbucks.
Oh, yeah.
He couldn't decide.
This one? Too sweet. Iced coffee. After finishing our food, we drank our coffee. Lauren tried mine.
I'm gonna try this iced coffee. It's probably gonna be gross. Why did you order this? It tastes like water and coffee.
It's literally iced coffee.
Take it back.
And we checked out a little more of the store.
Look how cute. Look at that owl.
Leaving the Grove, we had to pay $5 an hour for parking. We were there from about 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., so we paid $15. Next up, now we're headed towards the Hollywood Walk of Fame. We're gonna try to find parking at this parking garage that we already paid for, but it said to get there after 2:30, and right now we're gonna arrive at 2:20, so we're just sitting here on the side of the road parked, and we paid for 4 hours of parking, right? 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5, and it was $6.86.
One thing we quickly realized when walking on the Walk of Fame sidewalk is that we did not recognize most of the names. We found some, but we had no clue who the vast majority of them were. And to be honest, we thought it would look a little nicer.
So we're trying to get to the Walk of Fame. I mean, we're on some stars, but I think there's a bigger part. I don't really know. It didn't really tell us when we were walking.
We did see Michael Jackson though, which is kind of weird because everybody
Yeah.
else, the only names I've recognized are Michael Jackson and George Carlin so far.
We went to the parking that we just told you we paid for, and then the guy was kind of rude, and he was like, if you show up after 6 p.m., you're gonna pay $40. Like, okay.
Luckily for us, there were some cooler things that we got to check out. The first one being this Funko Pop shop, which made us feel like we just entered some part of Disneyland.
Look how cute.
This place was pretty crazy, and it didn't cost us anything to get in.
Oh, that's cool. Look how cute it is. 70. Look who it is! It's Dobby! Look! Look at the little... Look how big this is compared to me. Do you see how big it is?
My wingspan on it.
Whoa!
Jason.
You'll float too.
With the corpse spread. Wednesday. We also got Coraline. They even have Stranger Things.
So $12 for a standard one, and then for certain editions, $30.
I don't know how much those are.
Exclusive, 15. It probably depends on what it is too. Like Harry Potter, I'm assuming is probably pretty expensive.
What the heck?
Right across from the Funko Pop shop was Amoeba Music. This was really cool for us because we watched the series What's in My Bag, where musicians and actors go to this store and pick out their favorite records.
Hi everyone, my name's Corey Taylor, and this is what's in my bag.
And we honestly didn't know this store was actually in Hollywood. I thought it might have been on the East Coast. So of course we had to check it out. This place felt like it had everything you could think of music-wise.
Look what we found. Hey, look.
They have a lot of Deftone stuff here. They have Around the Fur, and they have White
That's like
Pony.
$99.
No way. That's $9.98.
Oh.
$12.98 for White Pony, and then they have the 20th anniversary edition.
And they got the owl one, Diamond Eyes.
Saturday Night Wrist too.
They have tons of Deftones. Look.
See if they have anything. They have the first major label album.
Got Lana Del Rey.
We're trying to find an Acid Drive,
We found it. It was hiding.
but it's not even their CD. It's just the guitarist
There you go.
of Acid Drive.
Yep. They're gonna tree you.
Audio Surge.
Alien Ant Farm.
We just saw this band last night. That's weird. Adele and Aerosmith. AC/DC, babe. Dang, there's also a lot of that one.
The Dirt.
Good thing we weren't featured in the What's in My Bag series because it would have been the shortest episode ever since we didn't get anything. As much as it would be cool to own some of these records, neither of us own a record player, so the record would just be collecting dust on a shelf somewhere in the house.
Who we're gonna see in April.
We finished up our walk on the Walk of Fame, and if I'm being honest, we were a little glad to get out of that area of LA. And the next thing we wanted to do was drive around Beverly Hills and see some of the richer parts of Los Angeles.
So we think we're gonna go back to the car and then go to Venice Beach and Santa Monica. I know they're right next to each other. We've been walking a long time. Guys, look at the line for the Vampire Circus. I think it wraps around over there. Look!
This experience was a little bittersweet for me as the driver. I really enjoyed being able to look at all the nice houses in Beverly Hills, and once I got into the nicer areas, the drive was pretty relaxing. However, getting to Beverly Hills wasn't the most fun thing to do. The traffic is insane, and it makes sense since this is the second biggest city in the country. And to make matters worse, turning left in LA is a nightmare. The reason it's a nightmare is because of how much traffic there is for one, but Los Angeles does not seem to know about left turn arrows. So when you're the one turning left, you're yielding to cars on the road in a city that has almost 7 times the amount of people as the state of Wyoming, and you basically can't turn until the light is yellow, and you have to do that weird thing where you pull out in the middle of the intersection and wait. And for some reason, it felt like my route was exclusively left turns. Good news though, Lauren and I made it to Beverly Hills safely and got to see some cool houses and nice scenery with no parking fees. Next up for the day, Santa Monica Pier. And can you guess what that means? If you answered out loud, I obviously can't hear you since it's a video, but if you guessed more driving in the city of Los Angeles, you would be correct. Fortunately for me though, this drive wasn't too bad. Once we got out of the city, I was able to get on the highway, and that means no left turns. Yes. But Lauren and I's happy driving experience came to an end when we pulled into the parking place by the Santa Monica Pier. These people knew the game they were playing super well. Unlike most places where the more of the item you purchase, you usually spend less per item, like Costco, this parking lot had a very strategic pricing system. When pulling up to the parking lot, the only thing advertised on a sign was $10 an hour parking, which seems pretty good. It was already getting kind of late, so we thought maybe we'd stay about 2 or 3 hours, and that would be $30 at the most. Nope. After getting in line to pay, we were delighted to read another sign with the rest of the rates. It was $10 for the first hour, but $25 for 2 hours, so $5 more for the next hour. Or you can pay $40 for the whole day. We just said whatever and went for the 2-hour option, and I'm sure we could have found a cheaper place, but driving in these packed cities just has you wanting to stop driving as soon as possible, and you just want to look for whatever is the easiest parking you can find. So I was willing to pay the cost. On the bright side, the view at the Santa Monica Pier was so beautiful, it made up for that annoying parking price.
Dude, me and Joey were gonna come down here to park. You definitely have to pay a lot.
It was pretty surreal. The only time Lauren and I have ever seen this was in Grand Theft Auto 5, and I have to say Los Angeles was pretty spot on in terms of replicating that game.
It's cold.
It's super windy.
Look at all the cars. Dude, there's tons of people. I've never been here. I didn't think there was gonna be like anyone. Well, not anyone, but I didn't think it was gonna be like
packed. But this pier was awesome. It had games, food, rides, and a beautiful sunset that we were just in time to witness. We didn't get the recording of it, but we saw it in person.
Everyone's leaving now that the sun went down.
We got to watch this guy play this hanging game.
You're next?
Definitely not. Which props to him because the stress of the game has got to be kind of high. Not only did you just spend $10 to hang from a rigged bar for the chance to win a tiny stuffed animal if you're lucky enough to hang on for a minute 30, but you also have like 30 to 40 people that all crowd around you just watching, including us, but we got some cool footage out of it, so shout out to that guy. We also saw you could pay $40 for an unlimited ride pass, so maybe we'll come back sometime and try that out. But speaking of rides, we couldn't believe this happened. Lauren was trying to get footage for a TikTok video we were gonna do of the pier, and we wanted to record the roller coaster in action as the Ferris wheel was spinning, and after waiting around 5 minutes for the roller coaster to finally start going, we were about to get the money shot. That was until...
Oh my god.
We couldn't believe it. That timing was so unlucky, but we did end up waiting a little longer and got the shot. I guess there's a carousel in there, but it looks like it's closed for today or tonight. It does. Our hair is going crazy, but we're gonna try to rush right now and see if we can go down to Venice Beach, because I've been there in GTA and we've never been there in real life. We're trying to rush right now because the walk back to the car is like 10 minutes.
Unless we want to pay $40.
And yeah, it's 7 o'clock, so we have like an hour left, so we're gonna try to do this in 20 minutes or so, see how far we get. The last thing we did was spend a limited amount of time walking along Santa Monica Beach. We wanted to make it all the way to Venice Beach, but we also didn't want to risk adding an extra $15 to our parking fee for being a little late. We only had about 45 minutes left until the 2-hour mark, and we knew it would take around 10 minutes to get back to the car from the pier. What we did see was still really cool though. We saw the night sky above a beautiful ocean with a cool breeze, accompanied by dim lighting of some nearby hotels and restaurants. These restaurants also look pretty fancy too. This one was so fancy that even the guitarist playing for the guests was wearing a suit. But before we got to the car, we saw the last thing that Santa Monica Pier had to offer. Catman! We got back to the car within the 2-hour mark, so we only had to pay for 2 hours, but they did add a $1 transaction fee, so it was technically $26.
Look at all the pretty lights. Bro, did you guys see the cat? Oh my gosh, I was so scared. It was like clawing him at one point. He's like trying to pry it off of him. We're gonna go back to the car because parking's gonna be 40 bucks if we don't go right now. And then we're gonna drive out of here and get Taco Bell or McDonald's or Subway. I don't know, maybe throw them all in. Wendy's, Jack in the Box. We'll find out which one we want.
The only other things we spent money on were 2 bags of chips and beef jerky at a gas station nearby so that we can make it back without starving the whole way. This cost us $8.33, and we also paid an extra $5 for gas station parking. I'm just kidding. They didn't make us do that. But I'm also scared that I'm giving them ideas now. It's freaking LA. It seems like everywhere you have to pay for parking. Later in the road trip, we stopped for gas, and I filled up the car with 4 gallons of gas, which came out to $25.60, meaning $6.39 a gallon. And that wasn't even the highest price we saw either. There was one in the city that was this much.
Dude, $6.69 for gas? What the heck? So we just made it back home. It's 10 something, like 10:15, 10:20. And we're gonna go make food because we don't want to spend any more money on buying food. So we're gonna go make something.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video because we enjoyed our experience in LA. Crazy traffic, but it was worth it in the end. And we hope to go again and spend some more time in the areas we didn't and see the other things we didn't. Because this time it was kind of like an all-encompassing trip where we went to a concert and then kind of tried to see LA. We did get to see cool things, but we like to go spend some time just looking at certain things and spending the whole day there.
And definitely plan it out better.
Yeah.
So
Still fun though. What do you think?
I had fun.
Me too. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad it ended up working out. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye. The streets here are so tiny. Yesterday, we had to drive all in the left lane because the whole right lane was so small that there's cars parked and there's no way like to even go through it. Look, this is a lane, but people are parked in it, so you can't drive right there. That's what I was talking about earlier.